OSHA and NFPA 70E are the two governing documents, and essentially employers are required to identify what the hazards may be in their workplace and let the employees know what that hazard is, and if they're going to work on that piece of equipment, what the proper gear would be to wear to work on that gear.
PPE stands for personal protective equipment, which your employees would use to protect themselves as a last line of defense when working against the hazard. The new requirements for personal protective equipment, particularly pertaining to electrical personal protective equipment, affect employees working in data center mission critical environments, because anyone working on or around live electricity will have to use specific personal protective equipment. They'll have to know when and how to use that equipment in order to operate disconnects safely so that they don't get burned in the process.
Complete the arc flash study, the end result is a label that goes on each piece of equipment. The study also gives you the opportunity to potentially design that hazard out of the system or find a way to mitigate it.
In order to go operate any breaker or go into any electrical panel, you have to be considered a qualified person. So a non-licensed employee inside of the data center could become qualified to operate that one switch with the covers on if they were trained to do so by a professional, licensed, qualified person.
If they're going to be the first responders to know, what they're capable of doing and what they should be prepared with for tools and equipment. Basically, it comes down to training and becoming a qualified person to activate an electrical piece of equipment. And so the way that the OSHA standard reads and the NFPA standard reads is only qualified persons are allowed to do certain tasks within the facility. Arc flash is energy that is emitted when there's a fault in a system. So it can be a direct bolted fault where copper touches copper, or it can be through the air, which is typically the arc flash.
I don't like walking around this old and empty house. So hold my hand, I'll walk with you, my dear.